Welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. Shout out to Live and Invest Overseas. See, tourists and expatriates, people who used to live in these Caribbean islands but left and went overseas, migrated, they always flock back to these islands on an annual basis, whether it's to go back and visit a family because it's summertime or Christmas holidays or ringing in the New Year's in Jamaica or something like that, right? But there are a lot of people who stay away from these islands because they just believe that it's way too expensive. Now, some places in the Caribbean can be very, very expensive. They have places in the Caribbean where it's like $1,000 a night. But we're not on that timing on this video, and we're not on that budget. Now, let's talk about the cheap places to live in the Caribbean. And when we say cheap, we don't mean cheap, dirty, nasty. We mean cheap, but you can still live comfortably. Now, if you're thinking of buying property in the Caribbean, you're going to need to explore your options. And this list right here is just a list that was compiled of 6 Caribbean destinations where your money will go a long way. Let's start off with number 1. According to the list, number 1 is Belize. Belize is the only English-speaking country in Central America. So, you already speak the language. That's always good to go. It was the heart of ancient Mayan civilization, and you'll find numerous ruins for exploring and hiking if you're one of those kind of outdoorsy kind of people. Belize is one of the cheapest Caribbean havens, and a couple could live comfortably in Belize with about $2,000 per month. It's the only country in the world with a jaguar reserve, and is also a paradise for birds and insects. Conservationists estimate that over 500 species of birds and 500 species of fish live here. Again, if you're an outdoorsy kind of person, then this will be the kind of place for you, not to mention the weather and the clear waters. The expatriate community in Belize is well established, and they're very welcoming. Developments are under construction across the country. It's developing at a rapid pace, making Belize an excellent option if you're after a Caribbean lifestyle with a strong expatriate community. When you go back to these islands, this is something that could be very helpful for you, not just to go among locals who have never left, but to find yourself in a community where there are expatriates that have returned, right? And they have the same kind of mindset that you have. They left, they went away, they worked, they saved, they came back. They kind of have a broader view of the world, which will be more cohesive in your line of thinking. The flights can easily get to Belize for somewhere between $150 to $200 from the United States. You got to catch them at the right time, though, but they do go down to that price. But you'll need to shop around to make sure you get the best deals. Ticket prices, they go up during February and major U.S. holidays, but for the rest of the year, you can find good prices between $150 to $200 all across the internet. Now, accommodation, they have Airbnbs that are available, and they have Airbnbs that are expensive, but they also have Airbnbs that are cheaper. Remember, we're balling on a budget here. So this is not about living a life of luxury on $5 a day. If you're looking for that kind of video, then you won't get that kind of information here. Airbnbs are available in Belize from US $30 a night. Budget hotels cost you about $40 a night. Buying property in Belize is simple. It's affordable. The process is not complicated, and investment in vacation properties to rent to tourists is actually a lucrative option. There are a lot of people there that's making this their money bag. Cost of living, food and drinks, all that other stuff. Most bars offer happy hours where you can buy a beer or buy a drink for about $2. We're speaking of US dollars, $2. And you can avoid the high prices of imported goods by simply purchasing local goods. Belize produces many fruit wines, cashew and soursop wines. Those are common. If you've never had those before, then there you go, something new. Again, new things are almost always exciting, right? Until they're not new anymore, and are believed to have medicinal purposes from the cashew and the soursop wines. The best place to eat are local restaurants. You'll find lobsters for about 12 US dollars, and most other dishes are actually under $10. Now, if you get a hot plate, if you ask me, and you cook for yourself, you could cut that cost for food in half. Belize's national dish is actually rice and beans, which is served throughout the country. I didn't know that one. I'm asking, where's the meat? Number 2 on the list, you have the Dominican Republic. Now, this isn't one of my favorite places, and I think it's not one of my favorite places for a specific reason, which I'll mention later. However, it's still consistently featured in the top destinations in the world. Why people keep on going there? It's a vibe, right? It's one of the most attractive, and it is one of the cheapest Caribbean islands to actually live on, the Dominican Republic. The country has been seeing like rapid developments, increasing tourism, and a whole lot of expatriates in the last few years. Property prices are low for now, and residency is quick and easy to acquire. The flights, depending on what time of the year you go, just like everywhere else, a flight from the US to the Dominican Republic can run you about $300 to $400 most of the year. Some budget airlines have deals, and you got to catch the deals. And when you catch the deals, you can get a ticket for as low as $100 each way, back and forth. So that'll be like a $200 ticket. Now, when you talk about accommodation, many of the cheapest hotels are not listed online when it comes to the Dominican Republic. And you'll find that the best deals once you arrive are on the ground. Search online for hotels anyways from tourist areas, and you'll find a clean and comfortable room for less than 30 US dollars per night. I should warn you, though, that there are some pretty seedy places in the Dominican Republic. So if you're a person who's never been there, then you might want to stick to the secured tourist route first and then slowly venture out. I wouldn't tell you to just land in the Dominican Republic and go searching around for cheap rooms everywhere. You might end up in a bad situation, right? Cost of food and drinks in the Dominican Republic, another story. A pint of domestic beer costs you about $2, and that's a lot. That's a lot of beer for a little bit of money. And a bottle of imported beer costs you about $2.50. So save 50 cents, drink the domestic beer. It's probably better anyways. Or if it's not your choice, pay your extra 50 cents and get your imported beer. I don't know. Heineken might be your favorite thing, and you want to keep on sipping that even though you're overseas. The national drink is Mama Juana. Mama Juana. It's a brew that's made with tree bark, with herbs, with rum, with red wine, and with honey. It kind of tastes similar to port, and Dominicans are proud of it, and it is said to also be an aphrodisiac and a cure-all medical drink. Let me tell you something. All these Caribbean islands have these drinks that they swear have medicinal purposes, and they are aphrodisiacs. And I gotta also tell you, I can't even argue with them. I have these drinks and I feel like something is happening to my body. But that's me. Okay, a 3-course meal for 2 at a international restaurant in the Dominican Republic could cost you about 40 to 50 US dollars. To save money, again, eat locally from local restaurants, and your budget will probably get down to about $10 per person. La bandera dominicana, the Dominican flag, that is the national dish. And it is made of, and we're not talking about the actual flag, we're talking about food. La bandera dominicana. It's called the Dominican flag, but it's the national dish, and it's made of rice and beans and braised chicken or beef. It's eaten at least once a week in most Dominican homes. A couple could live comfortably in the Dominican Republic with about 1,800 US dollars a month. Comfortably. Number 3 is Curacao. Curacao is an island that is off the coast of Venezuela. Dutch and Spanish influence and architecture gives Curacao its unique feel. English, Dutch, and Creole are spoken here. So most of us will be speaking English when we get there. It'll be helpful to touch upon your Dutch and your Creole, or you can learn on the way, but it won't be a pressing issue since English is also very popular here. Curacao is undiscovered gem is what most people call it. The tourism board, they're working to attract new visitors. The beaches are empty. So if you like a lot of privacy, if you like just some tranquility, not a lot of hustle and bustle like in a lot of these tourist areas where the big ships and the planes land in the all-inclusive joints and there's like 100 people in a pool in the middle of the day, you can go to a place like Curacao and you will have a big space on the beach for yourself, a beautiful beach with crystal clear water, which is a selling point. And the future of Curacao is looking pretty promising. I mean, crime rates low. There isn't much going on there. No drama. Let's put it that way. Thanks to reliable sea breezes, Curacao is becoming a top destination for kite surfing, wind surfing, and sailing. This could be an ideal spot for competitions, but the deep waters make it difficult to lay buoys for races. Curacao isn't on the hurricane belt and it's actually safe all year around. Now let's talk about the flights. How much is it going to cost you to get to Curacao? Flights from the United States of America, they start anywhere in the $200 range, $200, $250, $300. Of course, if you want to fly first class or something else, other class, or depending on what time of the year you go, then the tickets can be a bit more expensive. If you're looking for cheaper flights, then avoid going to Curacao during the December to April period. That's their peak season, which means your tickets are probably going to be very expensive. As far as accommodation goes, hotels aren't that expensive, but Airbnbs, they are more budget friendly. So you can still find cheap hotels, but Airbnbs are said to be the way to go in Curacao. The hostels are also worth looking into, and they are similar to bed and breakfasts. Now, if you're the kind of person who doesn't like staying around strangers, like me, for instance, I don't like closing my eyes going to sleep around strangers. You don't know what's in the mind of another person. I don't want to go on vacation somewhere and not wake up because some crazy person was there and I went to sleep and they did something to me. I don't know. I'm just paranoid. So I prefer to stay in an Airbnb or in a hotel where I close my door, lock it, and I'm the only person in it. But if you're one of those people you're a social butterfly, you love being around people, you enjoy others' company, especially traveling and meeting new people, and you don't mind sharing spaces, then the hostels are some of your best bets. They're usually also the cheapest way to go. I wouldn't recommend them if you're traveling with children, though. Cost of living and food in Curacao, alcohol is more expensive in Curacao than in other Caribbean nations. A pint of domestic beer in Curacao will cost you about $3.50 US, and the imported beers will cost you about $4 and up. Happy hours are famous, and you can enjoy a cold drink while you're watching the sunset over this beautiful island. Restaurant prices may vary, but you can enjoy a delicious meal for, say, 20, 15 to 20 US dollars per person. During the day, you can buy a variety of street foods from vendors, and at night, they have food trucks. And these food trucks offer tasty, budget-friendly options. Fresh fish is always available. Number 4 on the list, and remember, we're going to 6. Number 4 on the list is Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is one of the biggest rum producers in the world. Puerto Rico is also considered a U.S. territory. Puerto Rico is also known as the island of enchantment. Less touristy than other major islands in the Caribbean, Puerto Rico is authentic and it's economical. Now, bioluminescent bay, where tiny microorganisms illuminate the water at night. That's one of Puerto Rico's main tourist attractions. If you're into that type of stuff, I'm sure there's a lot more to see and hear around Puerto Rico, right? Flights. A flight can run you probably about $125, on average $150. Travel between April and June, and you will escape the high price season, and you will escape the rainy season as well. Accommodations, beachfront hotels in Puerto Rico could run you about 50 US dollars a night, and the prices are lower farther from the beach. The more inland you are, the farther you are from the beach. Airbnbs are also an affordable option. The cost of food and drinks in Puerto Rico, a pint of local beer costs about $2.75 to $3 US dollars. And the imported beer will cost you about $3 to $3.50. Wine is also reasonably priced at an affordable rate, and you'll find lots of inexpensive bars. Puerto Rico is the home of the pina colada, that drink. A basic meal for 2 people will probably cost you somewhere around $35, $40, $45. Look for deals at seafood restaurants outside the expatriate areas. Roadside stands roast and serve whole pigs. Crazy, whole pigs. The national dish, arroz con gandules, rice with pigeon peas. It's cheap, and it is definitely also a must try. The thing about Puerto Rico on this list, though, is you're already spending in US dollars, because Puerto Rico uses US dollars, right? Right. So the other islands, the money transfers differently. For instance, if you go to, say, Jamaica and you have $1 US, you already have about 150 Jamaican dollars from your $1 US. Whereas in Puerto Rico, if you show up with $1 US, you have $1 US, right? So obviously in the other islands, you can get more. Your money will stretch farther than Puerto Rico. Number 5 on the list, which I was surprised, is Grenada. Grenada is home to nutmeg plantations, and many visitors associate the scent with the island. I believe Grenada is actually called Spice Island amongst Caribbean people. Now, aside from the beautiful beaches, Grenada has a rainforest and several hot springs. A submerged volcano heats the pools to temperatures of 35 degrees Celsius. That's about 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Ooh, so you in a hot tub, basically. The island they have some of the most beautiful flowers in the world. Grenadians love these flowers, and they make stunning floral arrangements. So again, if you're into like flowers and outdoorsy stuff, flowers could be inside too. But if you're one of those kind of people, Grenada has won 13 gold medals at the Chelsea Flower Show. I don't need to explain to you what the Chelsea Flower Show is. You can go look it up. But the flights getting to Grenada, flights to Grenada are roughly about 250, maybe 350 US dollars during the peak season between January and May. Travel outside of those dates and you'll probably find flights that are under $200. I got to look into this one. Accommodation, Airbnb is your friend in Grenada. The island has numerous luxury and high-end hotels, which are going to cost you a whole lot. But again, remember, we're balling on a budget here. Airbnb rooms and apartments are available in Grenada for as little as $30 per night. And the cost of food and drinks, let's do it like this. Imported beers cost about $3 to $4 US. A glass of quality wine will cost you more than in the United States. Consider drinking like a couple rum cocktails instead. Rum punch is a signature drink in Grenada, made with fresh local fruits, rum, and the cheapest drink in Grenada is stronger than anywhere else. Drink it slowly. You can eat well for $10 US per person, but $20 US will get you a fine 3-course meal. And number 6 on the list is none other than the popular Jamaica. Jamaica is warm. Jamaica is welcoming. The people in Jamaica, for the most part, they're kind, they're helpful, they're loving. The island offers endless diversions. Golf is becoming a selling point. So if you're a golfer, a retired person, or likes to go out on a golf course, Jamaica's golf courses attract tourists from around the world. Bob Marley was born here. Usain Bolt was born here. Shelley and Fraser Price was born here. We can go on and on with the list of Jamaicans that are known worldwide, or famous people, especially from the United States of America, the UK, and Canada, who are Jamaican or who are connected to Jamaica through lineage, one parent or both parents. But we won't go into that list right now. Just know that a lot of famous people come from this island of Jamaica. You can visit Bob Marley's house in 9 Mile, as well as Bob Marley Museum, and the house where Ian Fleming wrote the James Bond novel is also in Jamaica. That house is now owned by Island Records owner, the same guy who actually signed Bob Marley. Now, flights to Jamaica, this is a popular destination for snowbirds. This is a popular destination for a lot of Americans, period, because the U.S. is right next door. The best flight prices are found to Jamaica between November and January. Flights from the United States will cost you $250 to $300 on average. Of course, if you hit it at the wrong time, you can have flights that are very expensive. I've seen flights go up to like $1,000 and over $1,300, depending on where in the U.S. you're flying from. If you're flying out of, say, the state of Florida, then there are I've even seen $99 tickets flying out of the state of Florida, and it takes you about an hour to get to Jamaica. Accommodations, you'll find some comfortable rooms with Wi-Fi, and they'll cost you about $25, $35, $40 range, but you won't have any AC, no air condition. The sea breeze cools the island in the afternoon. So if you're in a safe place on the island, you can open up your windows, let some sea breeze flow through your apartment or through your room that you're renting, and you'll be okay. But this, again, is for somebody who desires a budget, right? If you want to be a little bit safer, which I would recommend, then you want to get to a place where there's some security around. And then the price, of course, is going to go up from $25 and $35 a night to probably a little bit more. but you can still find cheap places. If you're balling on a budget and you're an adventurous person, though, you can go off the beaten path. And this same $25 to $35 a night can have you eating organic food, being served by Rastafarians somewhere off in Mother Nature where it's secured. You're probably going to be dining in a river somewhere. Let's just say that Jamaica is paradise on earth. It has the best of both worlds. And there are places there that $20, $25 a night can take you a long, long way. You just got to be that type of person. Cost of food and drinks. Jamaica's local beer is Red Stripe. It's excellent and reasonably priced. It's about $2 a bottle. The prices vary across the island and they're lower in non-tourist areas. And if you go in there talking like you're a foreigner, they'll hit you with a little extra something that's just customary. But even then, you'll still end up paying little to nothing. It'll still be less than what you would pay for it in the U.S. Ginger beer and coffee are Jamaica's two most famous drinks. Stop at a coffee shop for a cup of Blue Mountain coffee. I guess that's for tourists, ginger beer and coffee. But if you really want to go local, ask the locals what to drink, and they'll probably recommend something else, right? Rum is big in Jamaica, all right? You have one called John Crobati and the other one called Ray and Nephew. Drink responsibly and please take your time because it's no joke. Jamaica also has some of the best food in the Caribbean. And because I'm Jamaican, I might be a bit biased and I might say the best in the Caribbean. But my other Caribbean island people are going to argue with me. Anyways, you got to try out, just start out with the simple jerk chicken. Or get you some fishing festival. Or get you some jerk lobster. Jerk lobster is pretty cheap in Jamaica. Most places it costs you about $10. And it is one of the more expensive things on the menu, which tells you that everything else is going to be a bit cheaper. Now, you know you're not getting no jerk lobster in the States for no $10. We're talking lobster, okay? Your food budget, though, in Jamaica will go a long way. Ackee and saltfish, those are the national dish. You could ask somebody to get you some ackee and saltfish with some fried dumplings, and your belly will be full for hours, probably for the whole day. If you eat a lot, then I suggest you go local. Local meaning in Jamaica, there are what we call cook shops. These are independent restaurants that are put up in little shops, and they're usually what we call mom and pop businesses. So they're ran by family, right? Local people who source the food that's cooked at their business locally. So the meat, the food provisions, all that stuff is sourced locally. And it's usually organic, guys. Yes. So if you hit up the food shops, which they call cook shops, and if you hit up the drums that you see while driving around Jamaica, you'll see a lot of jerk drums. You pull over to a jerk drum, you'll get you some good jerk chicken, authentic jerk pork, or whatever else they have on the grill. Some people have fish and everything else. And let's not forget, this is balling on a budget, right? And it sure beats all the other expensive places, because Jamaica has those as well. They have all the fast food restaurants you can think of. Your Pizza Hut, your Burger King, your this, your that. And they also have high-end dining on the island. But that's for those who want to do that. If you really want to eat good and keep it within your budget, then I suggest you eat from the local cook shops or from the food vendors you'll see along the road. Jamaicans are very particular when it comes to their food, by the way, and they wash and clean, and it's prepared a certain kind of way, which for the most part is sanitary. We'll leave it right there. I was going to say something about Crab Circle and what happened there and Alice and the bucket, but I won't. because that's not really how it is with most vendors in Jamaica. And if you don't know about it, then don't worry about it. I'll catch you on the next video. Hit that like button and leave a comment. Tell me which one of these places you'll be visiting soon, or planning on retiring to, or just keep it as your little secret. I'm out. Peace.